Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to today's sohbet on this the 24th of June 2024. I hope you are well. This wonderful, beautiful Monday here in Birmingham in the UK. We have had wonderful sunshine today, which makes a change after the very changeable weather that we've had in recent weeks. Um, Unchangeable. That's a word that I think we should maybe focus on in this subject because we are living in very changeable times, I think, very interesting times. This, interestingly, apparently used to be a curse that Chinese people used to say to each other, may you live in interesting times. Now, in the West, we often think something as interesting is not necessarily a bad thing, but this used to be a curse that was wished upon people. May you live in interesting times. And we certainly are living in interesting times. And probably one of the reasons why that used to be seen as a curse is because interesting times mean a lot of change. And a lot of change can mean, well, things turning upside down, things in our lives turning upside down, not being how we're used to. Sometimes more than that, as you know, people in Ukraine, in Yemen, in Gaza, and other places have experienced, where it's more than just change. It is really uh, very, very testing circumstances, and we pray that this doesn't spread around the world and the people don't end up in conflict zones, and that these conflict zones come to calm down and become more peaceful in the near future so people can continue their lives and rebuild their lives. um, it is really troubling to see the world at the precipice that we are facing at the moment. And in the UK, we are in the midst of a general election. Uh, the people in this country are deciding who they are going to have as their next government. And well, things certainly aren't going all the way of Rishi Sunak and the current government. Um, no, quite contrary. Um, it's very testing for them, and things don't seem to be going all Labour's way either. These are very interesting developments. And we see a similar thing in the United States where people thought the election was going to go one way, and now it seems to be going another way. Um, People also seem to be more questioning than they used to be. It's like we're not looking at the media in the way we used to look at the media and accepting a lot of things. People are questioning a lot more what they are hearing and how true the things are which we are hearing through the various news channels. And I can only heartily encourage that. We should always question and try to check we have the right facts. But of course, there is also a danger in doing so because not in questioning, but sometimes people then look at other sources unquestioningly. So, for instance, many people will look at their social media and they see a video or they see some photos, they hear something that someone's saying, and just because we might not believe what we're hearing on the regular news channels anymore, that we're questioning that, it doesn't mean that what we're seeing on someone's TikTok or Instagram account is necessarily any more true than what we're hearing on the news. And in this age of AI, we can create things with AI. It goes beyond ChatGPT. People were thinking about ChatGPT and how you can create text and writing and just generate it through putting in a few prompts. And it is remarkable what that can do, but it goes beyond that now. We can create images, we can create videos through AI. And bearing in mind, each of these technologies, as sophisticated as they are actually at the early stages. So expect to see the AI generation of images, of videos, of other things probably as well. Expect that to get even more sophisticated. And I'm not talking in terms of decades, I'm talking in terms of 6 months and years. Probably within the next few years, the sophistication of these technologies compared to what can be generated now it'll blow our minds. We're in the realm of realizing what used to be sci-fi, what we used to watch in the sci-fi movies on sci-fi shows like Star Trek and Star Wars and Space 2001 and things like this. We are in the time where these things are actually becoming real. They are manifesting. And you can imagine and understand that as AI develops, not only will we find that we can generate text, images, and videos, but actually this technology will be used to further advance the development of technology itself, the underlying computers and technologies which it is using in order to produce what it's producing now. And if that increases, that will also increase the ability of AI. Basically, in short, what I'm saying is these technologies mean that where once upon a time, if you saw a photograph or if you saw a video, there was a very high likelihood that it was true. Today, it's questionable. We don't know if it's true anymore. There are deep fake videos that some people have produced of very famous people. And if you watch them, sometimes you would actually believe that that really is that person saying or doing those things, except it's completely out of character for them. Can you imagine if that is where we are with these technologies today? Where are we going to be in just 5, let alone 10 years' time? And how will that affect things such as elections, which we are currently going through in the UK, which they recently had in Indonesia, and which they're going to be having soon in the United States as well? Because these technologies will be used to influence people and the decisions which they make. And how will that influence all aspects of our lives? So certainly we are living in very changing and transformational times, and we need to be aware of these developments. It doesn't matter whether you use AI or you don't use AI, but you need to be aware of it, and you need to be aware of how this can potentially impact upon your lives. And it can impact everything from education to politics to business, so many different fields. I don't think anything will be untouched by this technology. It is like a new industrial revolution, just like when computers first came into, well, not development, but when they became popular during the 1980s and 90s, and how that affected how people worked, how that caused some new jobs to be created, but also caused people to lose jobs. We are going to be living, we are living at the beginning of a new development along those lines. And it does, and it should create concern for us as to how we are going to address this and how we are going to engage with these technologies. And I think we have to, because if you don't engage with technologies, then ultimately you are at a huge disadvantage. Conversely, I mean, if we do engage with these technologies and we start to use them, we have to think also, how is that going to affect us? Not just in terms of success or failure with our particular businesses or projects or whatever we're doing, but how will that affect us as people? How will that actually change us? And all of these technologies have the potential to do that. I mean, you look now, I'm talking to you on these devices. It doesn't matter whether you're in the next room, whether you're living in Birmingham, or whether you are living in Jakarta or Washington, D.C., or somewhere in South America. You can pick up this transmission live or watch the video afterwards, just as I can with people that are living all around the world. These technologies have fundamentally changed the way that we function and the way that we operate, the way that we do business, the way that we communicate. But then layered onto that, we are going to have new AI technologies coming in, and that is going to even more fundamentally change the way that we work, the way that we engage with each other, the way that we communicate. And unless we get on top of that, unless we actually engage in a constructive way and become part of the process of the development of these technologies and their implementation within society, then we might not even have a say in how these systems and the projects that are developed from them are going to be used. And this is ultimately it. There's going to be products and services that are going to be developed through AI technologies. And these are going to come into all areas of our lives. And in some cases, they are going to replace people's jobs in some cases. So, I mean, this is going to be really a fundamental change in some people's lives. And at the same time, potentially, these can create opportunities for other people to gain employment or to improve their lot, depending upon how they engage with these technologies. But we certainly can't ignore them, nor can we ignore a number of the other developments which are happening at this present time. And there's so many of them. I mean, as well as AI, you've got the development of drone technologies and what drones are now capable of compared to what they were capable of before. I mean, we've seen in the recent war in Ukraine how I think both sides, I was going to say the Ukrainians, I think both sides have been using drones and small, relatively inexpensive drones, sometimes just modified, mass-produced drones. So these are things that are similar to what you can buy in the shops here. They're just regular things, but they've had, in some cases, weapons attached to them, or in other cases have been used for reconnaissance and surveillance. These technologies have significantly advanced compared to where they were only a few years ago. And then again, going back to AI, if you combine AI and you can combine drone technologies, can you imagine where some of this could lead? And I don't think, I mean, people are racing ahead and developing these things, but I don't think people are necessarily thinking of all of the ethical and other ramifications of these technologies, and how that side of things really needs to be addressed. And this is where, as people of faith, I think we have a part to play in that, as do other people who specialize in ethics and how things should be managed and organized in a good way. I think I will leave that there today. But I hope this has given you something to think about, and may Allah help us through these times and help guide us to making the best of all of these technologies so that they can be utilized for the benefit of humanity and not towards our destruction or creating problems for our societies. And may Allah forgive us for any mistakes that we make. May Allah guide us all, and may Allah bless you all. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.